Let's talk about it all. Call me
Yams.
You show me the way, cause I got bills to pay.
And welcome back, guys.
What are we even talking about?
Welcome back to the Let's Talk About This Comedy podcast. It's Brandon, it's Leangie.
Hoodie edition.
Hoodied up. Get your hoodies up. Homie, give them a second, get their hoodies up.
Did you drink your little shot or what?
Yeah, I'm finna drink
Do
my
it on
shot.
camera then.
You know I am. We missed the week, guys. Guys, guess what? We missed the week. It is what it is. It was a holiday.
Brandon's fault.
First of all, it was a holiday. I'm not recording on Thanksgiving. Not happening. But how was your Thanksgiving, though?
It was cool. It was cool. I hung out with my family. We ate the same food we eat every year. Shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm over Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
What you mean you over Thanksgiving?
I think of it as the day that like the Pilgrims tricked the Indian or Native Americans into like, you know, we're here for peace, and they fucking went ahead and slaughtered them, stole all their land. So yeah, personally, I'm not really into Thanksgiving. I'm really into giving thanks and like, oh damn, thankful for my life.
Yeah.
What God has given me was what the universe has given me. Like it's just like
I'll
really
keep
thankful
it a
for
stack,
that.
though.
Personally though, I do not give a fuck about the traditions of this country that started like.
But I don't think we ever gave a fuck about that. It was just a time to get together with our family and eat food. Like, who really sat and was like, oh yeah, think about the past.
I mean, that's what I was taught in elementary school. You know, when I was an immigrant, when I lived in the Dominican Republic, the only countries I thought existed were the Dominican Republic, United States, and Mexico. Never did I think.
Which one was your favorite?
Probably my country, yeah.
Dominican Republic.
But I remember my dad was like, "Oh, we're moving to the U.S." And I was like, "Oh my god, let's fucking do it," you know? Hated it ever since.
So great. You had a great Thanksgiving. Perfect. Good for you.
How was yours? How was yours? I think it was better than mine.
Nigga, yours was fine. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was. But, yeah, you know, I got together with the fam. We ate good food.
Nice.
We were watching Yellowstone, which I know a lot of people, like, I've seen it trending different times, but I've never watched it. And that first episode, it was like an hour and 45 minutes long. I was like, bro, I'm not about to watch this shit. Like, this shit was ass. And then towards like 3/4 of that second episode, I was like glued to the TV.
You got me wanting to tap in myself.
No, low key, them episodes wasn't bad. Like what we saw, it was pretty cool.
Very chaotic.
But yeah, I think Yellowstone's gonna be something I'm gonna be watching. You're watching some things too. What have you been watching?
I've been watching like sex. First of all, the name is wild, but it's like Sex Lives of College Girls, and it's the second season. And I know Gossip Girl just restarted again. I'm gonna be honest, you guys. I've been scrambling. I have had nothing to watch. It's been very hectic for me. Last thing I think I watched that I paid attention to was About Time, and I've watched About Time about 300 times. It's my favorite rom-com. It's not even a rom-com. It's just like a retrospective, like look into like just normal life, but with like a supernatural twist. Yeah. So it's basically about. I want to say what it's about. I don't care.
Yeah. I don't even know.
So it's basically about this boy, and his father tells him like the men in his family, they have the ability to travel through time, and that in itself is just like so interesting. But the simplicity of everything he does, it just speaks to like how supernaturality can exist in a simple way. Like he used like these things to like, for let's say for example, like one summer he had a crush on this girl, so he used it to like at the end of the summer he wanted to get to know her. He was like, hey, you know, I think I'm in love with you, like I'd like to pursue you. And the girl tells him like, maybe if you had told me in the middle of the summer, I would have fucked with you. So he went back in time to the middle of the summer. Yeah. And then when he went to confront her in the middle of the summer, she was like, try me at the end of the summer. And then he's like, alright, this bitch is bullshit.
He's like, what the fuck? Yes. Yeah.
But it's just like simple things like that. Like, because honestly, he could have used his like supernatural ability to travel through time in an evil way.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just not getting it, but
I get it. And I love that show as well.
Do you have a favorite movie?
A favorite movie?
Yeah.
Like
of all time.
Oh, absolutely, I do.
What is it?
My favorite movie of all time is Braveheart.
Why?
Braveheart is the most incredible film ever. I think it touches on so many things. It teaches to not ever give up. It teaches to like stand for something. It teaches to protect your family. It teaches to like not fall into like norms type shit and like really fight for what the fuck you believe in. Like I love that movie. It's a very long movie, but I love that fucking movie.
For as long as I've known Brandon, that's been his favorite movie.
Yeah, so I was like weird why you asked me that. What's your favorite movie? I feel like that's why you asked me.
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time. You better have a fucking answer for this. Like, how you brought that up, you better have an answer.
I'll be honest, it's the one I just described. It's about time.
For real?
I can watch a movie like nonstop.
You know what else I
But
like? Okay, sorry.
Second, if you want to get me in a room to never leave, play the Transformers trilogy. Anything Transformers related, I'm in there.
And then the new trailer just dropped.
Yeah,
right?
I'm fucking hype.
How you feel about the trailer?
It's actually a really fucking good trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that shit?
No, I haven't. Describe it to me.
I'm gonna make. It's called Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Okay.
And basically, like some Transformers have disguised themselves as animals to like exist. Right? You wouldn't think they're gigantic. So nobody is falling for it. They're not animals.
Yeah, clearly.
But they keep transforming into like animal shapes, and it's just like.
It's giving Beast with Idris
But
Elba.
it's like a really good throwback to like the Transformers cartoons
from back
in the 90s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of the characters from then, and then they also redesigned Optimus Prime. Okay. So he looks more like the cartoons.
Is he cooler now?
No, he's just built like the cartoons.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways, any point where you put me in a room with the Transformers movies, I'm in there for a fact.
I remember you wanted to get the what is this called? Bumblebee?
No, I literally
tattoo?
was looking at it today because I'm gonna fucking get that shit tattooed.
I believe it.
But then I also thought about like me walking around an office with a little skirt on or something, and everybody being like, "Bitch, I can't take you serious."
As you should have. Fuck that. Guess what? You gotta take me serious.
That's
Guess what? I'm a Transformer too. I'm a Transformer too.
I never wore a skirt. Mind you, I bought like 3 skirts the other day on Black Friday.
How much money you spend? How much money you spend on skirts?
On those 3 skirts?
Yeah.
$10. It's Shein. And I apologize because I shouldn't be buying from Shein, but yeah.
Why not?
Because it's bad for the environment.
Anyway, about trailers, the Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer came out. It looks pretty cool. I can't really gather what it's about to be about type shit.
Same, it's like all over the place.
Yeah, but I fuck with it though. I fuck with it. Adam Warlock is in it. Obviously the familiar faces.
I genuinely think that they're setting it up for Adam Warlock to join as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that...
Question, hold on. Before you... Didn't Gamora die or did Gamora come back?
Gamora did die.
So why is she in the fucking trailer?
Because remember, Endgame, they got the other
Gamora
from that time.
Yeah, so that he's trying to win her back over type
yes.
shit. Okay, yeah, I'm excited for that shit. And I think Marvel's about to have a big 2023. Because that's coming out, Ant-Man's coming out.
Other movies coming
Isn't fucking, what you call it, coming out too? No, Avengers coming out the next year. But Ant-Man's coming out, which I'm really excited for.
No, I think Avengers is coming out 2024, but Ant-Man is definitely...
Yeah, Ant-Man's coming out in March.
Is Ant-Man your favorite Avenger? Because I feel like you talk about Ant-Man a lot.
No, he's not. But I think this movie's about to be fucking fire. Like, I think... Like, I never watched the first Ant-Man. The second Ant-Man I really liked. And I feel like the way... Like, he's in the middle of the entire story.
Yes.
So I think he's mad important right now.
You know what I also think is really cool? Like, you know what I think makes me is really compelling about the whole Ant-Man thing?
Yeah.
And I think this is why I'm going to go back and see Loki on Disney+. Mm-hmm. It's because of Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Because he was in that
show too. He was.
But they said the Kang he played in that is going to be different from the Kang in
Yes, but he played the one that... his name is called The One Who Remains.
Yeah.
And in the... And this is what really trips me out about Marvel, and this is what separates Marvel from DC for me. Uh-huh. It's just like how thoughtful the people that create the storylines for Marvel are versus DC, where it's just like, I think that the problem with DC is like you can tell that they're trying to catch up to Marvel. Like they're doing everything in their power to get to
have like
where
that film
Marvel
that's gonna break us
is right
through.
now.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to do that, they should have dropped the movie at the same time that Iron Man.
But I would say they I feel like they had an opportunity if they kept building on it. 'Cause remember they had like the Superman films, the Wonder Woman, like, and then they had like the Justice League type shit. I think they could, if they built on that correctly, they could have. But at the same time, like I think just like the
But
thoughts.
they didn't. I just think it's just like they started way too late, and then and the way that they started too late, it's just too sloppy. The only
sloppy, you think?
The only DC movies I've enjoyed, first Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was fire.
Shazam.
I haven't watched Shazam. Shazam, you like?
Shazam is amazing.
Amazing?
I wouldn't call it amazing, but it's like a really well thought out movie. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it.
Oh, so then why would you?
Because like Shazam,
I think
of like
it's
amazing movies,
I think
Shazam is not what I'm thinking.
I think it's the name, but it's the one DC movie that didn't feel like, and then on top of Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was really well thought out. The first one.
Second one was trash.
Second one was trash.
Ass.
But Shazam is also like one of those things where it's just like it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Whereas like Black Adam, for example, is not.
Although I'm not gonna hold you, people have said Black Adam was fire, and then also was saying that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was acting.
The thing is, it's just like Drake the Rock Johnson.
Drake the John Ronson.
Wayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I just think he's like fun to watch. If he's in the movie, I'm gonna have a good time because he's fun to watch.
Gotcha.
And honestly, like I was watching Black Adam and I was just like, this plot is nonsense.
Yeah.
Like I could have written that. And
all right, hold on. I gotta stop you. I don't like that. Like.
It's a sense.
No. Listen to what I'm saying though, because you are a really good fucking writer. Not be like, oh, this is nonsense. I could have wrote that. You can write these good ass movies.
Okay.
Too. Don't fucking say shit like that.
Maybe I shouldn't have worded it like that. But like, let's say for example, this is how I describe Black Adam, right? There's a threat somewhere. Let's say New York City.
Yeah.
There's a guy that rose from the fucking ashes from back in the day,
and
he's flying up in the sky. Nobody can beat his ass.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they introduce like 5 fucking characters to beat his ass.
Is Black Adam one of them?
They give no fucking background to them.
Yeah. So if you didn't read into this, you don't know who the fuck people are.
If you did not read the comics, you would have a problem understanding who these people are. And you know me, like I go in the back, like I fucking go and research, but other people don't.
Yeah. So if you don't, like you're not gonna know who the fuck the people are.
And it's just like, and then I feel like their powers didn't really have much meaning to them. They didn't add much to the fight. It's just like, why the fuck are they here in the first place? I don't know. I just didn't like it, but
we had a movie that we did like though. Speaking about Marvel and DC, Wakanda fucking Forever. Like
that's what I'm saying. That adds to the fact that like Marvel has just more of a grip on things.
I don't think you have to compare the two. And you know me. I hate comparing. But like I agree where like if you're comparing, clearly Marvel's better. But Marvel also has a big stake in these fucking movie like franchises. Like DC is, trying to find their footing. And you gotta give them time to find their footing. They didn't change Batman's how many times? You feel me? They gotta give them time to find their footing. You feel me? Find their footing.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you wanted to compete on
But maybe they're not trying to compete. Maybe they're just trying to make a good movie.
But they fail every time.
I don't think that's true because you just said you liked the Wonder Woman movie and the Black Adam you said wasn't bad.
That's true, but it's like 10 movies.
However, Wakanda Forever, I think, actually, how did you feel about the movie before I say anything?
I think in that situation, and you know what's crazy? Like, this is how much I really, really enjoyed Black Panther and just like the character itself. I think that level of representation and the way people showed out for that movie and like that character in itself, Black people.
For the original one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it was like so extraordinary to watch. And I think it was also one of the reasons why we have so many like Black films and like Black representation in movies nowadays. You know what I mean?
You're championing that to Black Panther.
I'm not championing that, but I feel like.
But you're saying because that did so well, now they're like
inclined to do that, which is crazy because back in the 90s, back in the 80s, like Black people were in cinema, and not in.
But that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, not in a way where it was like cliche, like how fucking Medea and the shit be.
Not too much of Medea.
Stop it. But I'm saying like back in the day, like you had actual storylines and quirky things and stuff like that, like all the Eddie Murphy movies. Yeah. Like Eddie Murphy was in hella shit and all his shit was diverse. Like Pluto Nash was one of my favorite movies.
That's crazy.
Pluto Nash is good as fuck.
One of your favorite movies though? Okay.
I think just because of the nostalgia and like watching with my dad and like getting it from a video store type of thing, like that's how I remember Pluto Nash.
Yo, that shit matters for old shit. Like where you were, like how you watched it, like
Yes.
the theme around it, that matters for like old shit.
Like that's why I have such a big like affinity for 50 First Dates. I love 50 First Dates.
Tell me the story about you being introduced to 50 First Dates.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story. So when I first came to the country or whatever, we lived with my grandparents. Stop. We lived with our grandparents for a bit. My parents were like not, like, they were over it, obviously. They were like, what, 25 and 26, respectively. And we lived in a studio apartment. Well, we moved to a studio apartment. Yeah. When we lived in the studio apartment, we had a TV and a DVD player. And I remember there was a video store up the street, so we would go and get our movies from there. And I remember when we moved to a bigger apartment, like, they would literally, like, walk with me. We would make this a thing. Yeah. Where we'd go to the movie.
Pick a movie.
The movie store. And pick a movie. And sometimes I would get to pick the movie, and I would play it. That's how I watched Atlantis, the Lost Empire, 50 First Dates. And these are all movies that, like, I literally would put in the bank as my favorite movie. So, like, especially Atlantis.
Because it was reference points type shit, yeah.
Like, it's just different when you, like, and then that's what, never mind. I don't want to get into that.
No, say it.
It's just, like, technology is such, like, it like, takes so much from us. Because it's just, like, there's certain things that, like, can be...
Like, going out to get it. Like, niggas don't have that anymore type shit, yeah.
It was a whole event where you would, like, okay, we're, like, getting ready to go out to the movie store, the DVD store, the video store, go get like, the films that we want to watch. And, like, because our parents, like, well, personally, my parents couldn't, like, buy multiple movies. Like...
You gotta pick one.
It was special when it was like the one I got to choose.
And that's real shit. Like even with music and shit, like you're not gonna be able to buy all the albums you want. Yeah. You gotta pick an album, and we're gonna buy that album, and that's what we're gonna like. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about.
It's also funny because I would like I almost tweeted this the other day, but I didn't.
I got surprised because you tweet everything else.
I've been like hesitating to tweet things recently, but. When I was a little kid, so somebody posted a video of like police like gathering all the bags from like Canal Street.
Oh yeah, why is that?
And like somebody was like, why would you do that? Like it's not that big a deal because it's honestly does not hurt the brands, honestly. But
you still shouldn't. I feel like it
reminds me of when I was little. I was waiting for the bus with my mom to go to my grandma's house, and. I was really into music at the time, so like I would like when I would ask for Christmas presents, I would ask for CDs, and these CDs were like $12
You're such an easy girl to shop for. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I remember one of my CDs that I wanted was like a Gwen Stefani's first CD and like all this other shit, but I was really into music at the time, so my mom would get me most of my CDs bootleg. You know, those people like on the street or whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They be having the best mixtapes too.
So I was waiting for the 47 bus with my mom. We were in Brownsville. And there was a guy selling CDs and he got arrested by the cops.
In front of you?
Yes. And the
trauma, guys.
I was like, what are you guys gonna do with the CDs to the cop? And he was like, take whatever you want. Boy.
You went crazy.
Yes. I went crazy.
Wow, that's foul.
Isn't that crazy?
That's foul.
He was like, take whatever you want. I'm like, what are you talking about? My mom went crazy that day.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
But for me specifically,
if you're watching this, sir, I apologize on behalf of her as well.
But what was like for me at that point, that shit was so important because it was hard for my parents to buy the CDs for me all the time, and I was so into music. I was just like, this is so. I was so thankful, and I had my little Walkman, and it said Angel on it. It was pink. It was so cute. But I like literally spent all my time like listening to music.
And you know what's interesting, like about back in the day?
Yeah.
Like, music was so like, I wouldn't say hard to come by, but like, growing up, you had to listen to what your parents were listening to.
Yes.
And then like when you were able to like kind of like find your sound, you couldn't really have access to everything. So that like whatever you chose to listen to kind of shaped like how you viewed music, what you were into. I think that's so fire. Like, and I get what you're saying. Like now you kind of have access to everything. Like I could go listen to some shit from Texas, and I feel like I'm from Texas type shit. Like it's just weird. Like I feel like that's how New York kind of lost like its music sense. Where now I don't have to listen to New York artists because I can listen to
That's what I'm saying. And then that ties into like, let's say for example when you were growing up, when your mom was like cleaning and stuff. Wasn't there like a certain type of music that
it
she
was the
listened
same
to?
shit all the time. I remember when I was living in Jamaica, it was a certain type of reggae music I was listening to. And then when we was up here, literally every week I would be hearing neo soul. So that's how I got into India Irie. That's how I got into fucking Maxwell. Like I got into R&B based off of that. Like I remember I'd be playing my game, and when I hear these songs, I'm like, my mom's cleaning, like it's just the same thing all the time.
And it's just like the same for me. Like it's just like it's different because I have this.
What's happening? Are you okay?
Sorry guys, it's the beer.
Yo,
But, like,
yeah, we're
growing-
drinking Budweiser.
growing
Yo,
up-
we're cheap today with the Bud Light. We don't got no pretty drinks on the table.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Growing up, like I used to really listen to what I wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
But like every weekend, when my mom was cleaning, all this other stuff, she would put this old ass like Dominican merengue, like any type of music from when they were young. And to this day, I promise you, I know every fucking word. And nowadays, I'm just like listening to it myself, where it's just like I hope I can create a situation where I also pass that down to my kids, where they feel like, damn, like I know these songs, so my mom's been playing it, they're oldies. But like, I don't know, it's just the music was different. What back then, the situation.
I was gonna say
different.
we also don't have music right now
that feels
that's
timeless.
gonna test
Yeah.
the time. Like it's not gonna last the test of time. Like I think we had artists back in the day like Chaka Khan or like fucking Luther Vandross. Like there was a lot of artists like just based off of that. I'm not speaking about Spanish artists and shit. Like even in Jamaica, we had artists that today you could put on Sanchez, you could put on certain artists that's like, yo, like it still goes. I don't think we have those. Niggas ain't listening to Skilly Bang 30 years from now. I'm not gonna hold you. I fuck with Skilly Bang. But niggas ain't listening to Skilly Bang 30 years
That
from
shit
now.
makes
30
me
years from
sad.
now.
Like that genuinely like upsets me. Because I feel like culture in itself, especially like, I feel like that's why I'm so like passionate about like Caribbean culture in itself. Like everything, I just think it's so, I feel like I have a tendency to romanticize things.
True.
And I feel like, oh stop. Like certain things, like culture, like music in these cultures, it's so like transcendent to me.
Yeah.
Like let's say for example, growing up like with my dad and stuff, like I didn't grow up really with my dad all the time. I was mostly with my mother. So there's a certain type of music I would affiliate with my mother. But there's certain type of music I affiliate with my dad as well. So my dad had this artist, I forgot his name, but he loves that guy. So like I know all that guy's lyrics by like because my mom would put it on because she knew my mom liked it, my dad liked it, and she liked it. There was certain Mexican artists that she liked as well. And even like the other a couple months ago, my mom's best friend, who she's known since she was 3, which is crazy. Like their relationship has lasted this long, and they're like in their 50s. But her sons threw her a party, and they brought a mariachi band, which I think is crazy because my family's Dominican. Like we don't.
It's not your vibe,
but they played all these Mexican classics that my parents have been listening to since they were in their fucking, like when they were 11. And I just think that's so wild. Like I think in Spanish culture, let's say Caribbean culture, like it's a whole thing. Like it's not like,
it's not one dimensional.
Yes. And I just think like even then, like I remember visiting DR with my dad and my mom. We were at my grandparents' old crib, and they had a specific neighbor. I grew up with him, and he had a how do you call it, a car garage, like he fixed cars. And I remember my dad was over, and he was the next door neighbor was washing a car. The entire time he was washing this car, he was playing Bob Marley. Like Bob Marley's entire album, like they were just going in, and then my dad would come out and they would start singing the song. And even then you would like also sang Bob Marley with my dad. Like,
which is weird to me because I'm not thinking you guys can relate to that. Like I remember I was there and I was like, he wanna sing Bob Marley, that's weird. But to me, like that's what I grew up on. So like that was a way for us to like kinda like what's the word for it? Yeah, like kind of connect.
And that's crazy to me because I grew up listening to that, and then also like other Caribbean reggae.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what they were saying,
but it just sounded.
But it was just like something I would dance to, and like.
And you know what's crazy? Like if you listen to reggaeton and shit like that,
It sounds.
it's
it
just
sounds
no. It's
similar.
not just. It sounds
Not
the
the
same.
same,
Y'all flip the fucking song that we drop in Jamaican reggae and like make it your own type shit. And I feel like we might not see it that way, but I think all of these fucking things will come forever.
How did we get so sidetracked? Like,
My nigga Namor was fighting for his people, and nigga stole from his people.
you know,
And that kind of brings us right back to that.
that brings me right back to the whole Marvel versus DC discussion.
Bro, let's just talk about the movie,
I'm gonna
bro.
talk about the movie.
Where are you going? No one else is saying Marvel versus DC.
I'm not saying.
Right
I'm saying like it ties back into.
But ties back into what? You're creating the Marvel versus DC.
No, but we were talking about like Shazam and all that stuff. And
But what that got to do with Marvel versus DC?
I'm saying I'm not saying it has to do anything. I'm
Get
saying
in back. Get in back.
I'm saying I just think that this Namor situation ties into how well Marvel treats their characters. Like they really put thoughts into their villains and all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say this is the most random shit ever.
I'm pretty sure it's
But bring it back to like the first Spider-Man movie, the Tom Holland one, the first one.
Yep.
His
fucking
his enemy was Vulture, like the Vulture or whatever. And I feel like there could have been ways, and you can write a villain where you're just like, you don't give a fuck about the villain. It's nothing to do with the villain. But like you cared about the Vulture a little bit because you knew his daughter, you knew what he was working towards and why he was working the way he was. Because at the end of the day, the Vulture had a daughter he really cared about. He had a family that he provided for, and he employed a bunch of prisoners, people that were in jail, to work at his shop. You know, it was circumstances that brought him to where he was at that moment. And I think Marvel is very good.
But is that a Marvel DC thing or just a fucking director?
No, it's not
It's a director
I'm
thing.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like
You are saying that though. I'm saying like maybe there's better directors doing these movies than the DC movies.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like more.
I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying.
But I'm saying like I would say it's a director thing, but it's not. It's
How is
just
it not?
more of like
Because it's not fully based on the comics. It's loosely based on the comics. That they have to build a story around.
But I'm saying like I would say it was the director if it was just one movie, but that's the theme across all villains in Marvel though.
What I would say is like because there's different directors for every like trilogy or whatever in the movies. So I feel like okay, Marvel ain't the one saying like yo this has to be in here. The director's writing the movie. You feel what I'm saying? Like I think
The directors don't write the
also.
movies. There's writers for the movies.
Oh, is it the same writers for every movie?
No.
So then that's what I'm saying. Like it's not one like direct thing. So regardless, it's like maybe there are just better people doing this.
But you have to also
You know what I'm
understand, like, this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm calling it Marvel because it's just overall across all movies. There's very well thought out.
It don't
villains.
matter if it's different writers for every movie.
You're the one that said that though.
You just said it's different writers for every movie.
I said it doesn't matter if it was different writers for movies. You're talking about it's a different director.
No, I'm saying like okay, it would be one thing if it's like the same writers were working every movie. Then it's like okay, that's why everything is about the same. Like we care about the villains, blah blah blah. Like I think that the writers are the crowd with this. So like they're writing this film to be like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
DC's
But that's what I'm saying. It's a difference. Like the DC, I feel like you could tell there's different writers for every movies. But I feel like in Marvel, all the writers have the same thing. Like this, it's like the same theme. Where it's like, yes, there's a villain here. We can all see the villain. But we could also be like, I get where the villain is coming from type of thing.
Okay.
Which is a good example for Thanos. Where it's like, you're like, oh, I understand where he's coming from. Which is where I feel about Namor. Where it's just like, oh, I can see where he's coming from as well. You know what I mean? Like, I sympathize with the villain as well as the hero.
Yeah. But also, maybe in the comics, it was never built that way in DC to, like, sympathize with the villain.
There's a lot of differences with Namor in the comics and Namor in the thing.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in DC. Like, I don't think... Like, I think Thanos, like, was in so many different stories that you can pull from those to create, like, a story for that. Like, Batman only has Batman's villains type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Thanos was in mad different things to... You can pull from a lot of different places. Just to shoot DC some bail, I think. Like, I think...
I really... I really respect you are trying to defend these.
But I just want to talk about the movies. Jeez. I don't
No,
know.
let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's
and
talk
like that brings me back to Wakanda Forever, where like it did have like a racial theme to it about culture as well, and people stealing from his culture, and like him really reminded me of like the Mayans and like shit like that, and like white people taking from that, and then he had to move underwater, guys, underwater. But I thought it was a great movie in like totality. How do you feel about Wakanda Forever?
Absolutely adored it.
How many times did you cry?
Once. And I feel like it was in a
Cap, it was twice. It's Cap, it was twice.
I feel like
Don't lie to them,
it was just
twice.
once.
You cried twice.
Either way, I feel like they were inappropriate times. I'll be honest, like I think like sometimes in life you think like, oh, sorry, and I think like it comes down to language. It's just like you can see yourself as two different things, right? And I think in this situation, like I was watching Wakanda Forever,
Yeah,
and it's you can see like and you know what? I don't feel like I know the political stop. I don't know the political way of saying it.
and you know what?
Like well the original people and in countries, you know, like the original whoever was there first.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, I can't stop burping. And I think that's how I see like the Talakans, and like they were there first and they were in trouble and they had to move their culture underwater. I really want to give kudos to Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he did with the first movie, the first Black Panther movie was amazing. And I'll be honest, when Chadwick Boseman passed away, I was just like, damn, like what are they gonna do? Like and then just knowing how like important like that character was and how well they introduced him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was just like, damn, how are they gonna maneuver this?
Yeah.
And just the way that he did it and the way that it was done, I would say like the beginning, like how, you know, when we went to movies, like how it started, I was just like, what the fuck? Like this is so abrupt. But I think it was a good way to like rip the Band-Aid off and just like continue on with the story type thing. But I was just like, yo, like how are they gonna move past this? And like, how are they gonna make a movie just as good? And he like definitely like hit that out of the park type thing.
Wouldn't that be the writers though?
I don't understand how it goes. I'm gonna be honest.
It seemed like you did.
But I want
to. But I'm giving the credit to him too. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I give the credit to him because I think forming that story that way, and I know they had to like pivot the story once he passed.
Yeah.
To like create a new story of what like, and I think they didn't really miss a beat. I felt like they rushed the like the funeral scene a little bit.
Yeah, for a fact.
It was like for like 5-6 minutes and then we moved on. But at the same time, I didn't want it to be like so harping on his death. And I like that the story made sense based off of like this is what happens after. And like everything made sense. And I felt a lot of that shit. Like I felt that movie. And like the parts that you were saying like you cried for that you thought wasn't like the times to cry. Those were really important times. Like the nigga really did have to move his city underwater. Like just
create his entire civilization over again. I just thought like I just thought it was so incredible the way they did that. And yeah, it's like I feel like it's a really good story on like grief and how to like handle like how people handle things and like just like I feel like because honestly like when Chadwick Boseman died, I feel like we kind of all were mourning it for a second, and like mourning him and mourning his stories and the characters that he brought to life. And I just think that like just even the way they created Talokan, like in the comics, that's not who Namor is. Namor, that's not how he's presented. Like Namor, honestly, if you Google like how Namor looks in the comics, he looks like a fucking vampire. Whoever the fuck, I promise you, he has a leather jacket.
He doesn't look like a vampire. Namor literally looks like a fucking mermaid to me.
The most recent Namor looks like a fucking vampire to me.
Why are we based off the most recent?
Anyways.
What?
I just think it was very inspired to make him like Aztec.
What I think is Ryan Coogler, like even the first Black Panther also had racial undertones to it. And I think like this one, I think it's just how he approaches like movies and obviously I'm giving him the credit, but it might not be him. It might be like you said, he might be the director. It might be writers that's actually doing this. But I feel like off the helm of that first one, this had a lot of racial undertones. You could connect, like what you were saying. I could connect to Namor and be like, yo, nah, y'all really did us dirty, and now I'm not gonna let anybody affect my people. Like I'm gonna protect my people. And the thing is, it's one of those things like the same thing what you said about Thanos. Like he really isn't like a villain. He's just kind of like an anti-hero. Like he's just like standing for something that might not be the same as your hero standing for, but you can kind of still be like, damn, I feel him on this type shit. And that's what I felt in the movie where I was just like, yo, I'm not even mad at him because he's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, like I think that's what
I mean, he killed her mother.
No,
so that was wrong.
That for a fact, like, but I think she herself surely had to see it in the grander theme of things. But it's just like one of those things where it's just like, wow, this is beautiful. Like the way even the way like they showed Namor's birth underwater, like his people having to run to the water to save themselves because they were dying because they couldn't breathe air anymore. And then
how poetic that when he was about to die, he had to find some water.
And then even then, like the Wakandans not even knowing about like
somebody else had vibranium.
Yes, they were just like, y'all have vibranium as well, and y'all are out here in the news and shit. Y'all fix it because we've been hiding it this whole fucking time.
Yeah, type shit.
And I just thought that was so crazy. It's just like, yeah, you know, you have vibranium, but we also do.
And the thing is like they weren't even trying to be on no shit. They're like, yo, we trying to hide out.
Yes.
They came down here to find,
and it's your fault they know about this.
Exactly. So y'all better fix it. Keep us out of it, type shit.
And then it's just almost like if you had a whole fucking people to protect and like keep in secret, you told them like, yo, ride with me. I got y'all. Yeah. We've been good for mad long. I've been living for 1,500 years. And these are the people that are like ruining it for us. Like, of course I'm. And then the thing on top of that, the way he pulled up by himself. He said, "Alright, this is the situation. Y'all gonna fix it."
Nah, he. The only thing I would change about the movie, I would have killed that nigga. I would have killed.
Oh no, for a fact. Like after you killed my mom,
it's clip for you.
You would have been clipped.
I don't care. My mom was like, yo, stop, have some grace. Let him.
I watched the movie again because I found a bootleg.
Yeah. And
I was just like, yeah, you should have died. Cause
once you got over how hot you thought he was, because you was in the movie, you're like, oh my god, I would suck his dick right now. Like you would have definitely got spun by Namor.
I just think it's a situation where it's just like, I'm so like into culture. That sounds really white.
It sounds crazy. Like, yeah, low key, it sounds crazy that you're saying
no,
this.
And I'm just saying, like, it's just like the
really
way
culture.
The way I've been brought up, the things that like make me like think of home and stuff, that make you probably think of your.
Don't talk for me. Don't talk for me.
Whatever. It's just like, I think you could look at someone else's culture and appreciate it because you're just like, this is what you hold dear.
Yeah.
This is what you grow up thinking about, and like that molded you to be yourself.
And we all kind of have
yes,
that.
And we all have that, and so you can relate to it. I think that's the difference with like, if you're born here, like through generations.
Like you don't have anything. You don't have a reference point to hold on to. Like you just have like shit like Thanksgiving and fucking pot roast. But anyway, what's more important? Not more important, but "Lift Me Up" by Rihanna. I'm gonna be honest. Seeing it in the movie, I felt that song a lot more than I did without the movie. Like I was like, yo, if the placement of that song at the end, credits, I'm like, wow, this is fire. And then she had a second song in there. There was the song that played when they went underwater to see the city.
Yes.
So fucking fire. Like the soundtrack for this movie, along with the first one, because the first one soundtrack was fire too. But like, I think I'm gonna give this to Marvel. Marvel does a good thing of like giving it to somebody who's gonna like create the scene correctly. I think
and that's one other thing. Like I think Black Panther, like it's a very black movie. I think one of the things that the first Black Panther was praised for was just like there weren't any white people. There was just the one white guy, And I think that was the same case for... No, actually, there was more white people in this one.
There was more white people in the first one, too.
And
they were trying to steal from the box.
Okay. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, it could have been a thing, but it wasn't because it was just so well done. Like, Wakanda... First of all, I just want to also give credit to whoever the fuck started that storyline, the Black Panther storyline, and like the idea that it's just like, oh, you think that Wakanda's this third world country, and the whole time it's just like this advanced, like futuristic city.
Wouldn't that be fucking Stan Lee?
No, it wasn't Stan Lee that made that up.
From this fucking 60s when Black Panther came out? They don't think that's Stan Lee? We don't gotta look it up, but... Oh, you wanna look it up?
You're correct. It was Stan Lee and a guy named Jack Kirby. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, Jack Kirby must have been black. No, a white man. So shout out to them for having this, like, thought process in the fucking 60s.
But I also think, like, Stan Lee, living through, like, the actual Black Panthers and shit at that time, probably was like, yo, it would be cool to see this. Like, I think that's fucking fire to even make a black man a fucking superhero at that time.
That's what I'm saying, like
it's fire.
Like, finding out that it was Stan Lee, I'm just like, wow, he deserves every accolade he has. And you know what's crazy? Like, before let's say the Marvel Cinematic Universe started,
the MCU.
Yeah, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman were very much more popular than Iron Man and all this other shit back when I was a kid, personally. Okay. I didn't know who the fuck Iron Man was when his movie came out, you know?
Okay.
And I just think, and then that's what I'm saying, that I attest to their, like, success. It's just like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman were very much more iconic before
now.
Yes.
And you would have to think about it, like, maybe Marvel had a chip on their shoulder about that. Like, could think about it, like, we all know about Thor, but like Thor wasn't even like in everybody's day to day. It was Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, like she's talking about. Like now, like today, everybody knows Thor, everybody knows Iron Man, like everybody knows these like the characters in the MCU. Like the MCU is so much larger than life.
Yes.
Like the Guardian of the Galaxy, like I'm excited about that. I went to go see Eternals. I didn't know what the fuck Eternals, but Marvel was attached, so I want to go see it. Like I don't feel that same about
It's just like before.
How do we get back to this conversation?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm saying like before the Marvel shit.
Yeah.
Like I think.
I just agree with you. I just agree.
So like when you were a baby, when you were like 8, you knew about like.
I said I just agreed with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, but you're saying the same thing. I'm agreeing.
Yeah. So like when I was growing up, like watching fucking Pokemon and stuff, like
yeah.
Also Batman Beyond also came on that Saturday.
Batman Beyond was so fire.
So good.
And I remember when the X-Men cartoon came back out, like it was like the new X-Men cartoon, and they were like cool type shit.
I didn't even know for as long as I did that was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Like X-Men?
Yeah.
What do you thought X-Men was?
I thought it was DC, just like Batman was.
Nah, yo. It's so I used to really fuck with X-Men. Like even growing up, like X-Men was the shit to me. Like the old shit, like the old X-Men. That's where I got like my idea of superheroes and shit. I like people, and it was like the thing where like they were mutants, so like they were also outcasts, but they were also like trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like that was like how I envisioned superheroes. Like when I saw Batman. And Batman's rich and shit, but like he's also trying to help. He's people. Also like, yeah, he's like I was like, yo, this is what a hero is, like type shit.
Do you know that like, for the longest Fox had like legal rights to the X-Men, so now that contract, so they're coming to the MCU.
But that's why what's his name was in the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh. No.
Professor X was in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, but also like Namor is a mutant. He's not I would want to say like. I was so hyped for my fucking goddamn Apple Music because I don't have Spotify. Sorry, I don't do that. Sorry.
You're giving mainstream.
Stop! No, I want to get a Spotify just because. No, I genuinely have been wanting to get a Spotify just because I heard their playlists are curated better, and I'm in a space in my life right now where I'm not searching for music. Like I'm not like how I was when I was younger, where I could like find music in every little corner.
They better
right now, it's more like figure out what I like to listen to and do what you gotta do. But I feel like Apple Music does that with their radio stations. Personally,
Yeah.
their radio stations are curated towards me. If
I
anything.
guess. I agree. But we got that wrapped. We got the wrapped for the year.
But even then, like I feel like people were complaining about like their own Spotify Wrapped, and they were just like, this is not the music I've been listening to either.
That's great. What did you find in your wrapped, and not other people? What did you find? What did you find? Did you find like it was like accurate? Was it not? Like, what do you find in your wrap for the year? Find Apple Music.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to bring my like phone out for this.
Yeah, sure. And can I get some yams? Sweet yams. Show me the way, 'cause I got bills to pay.
Wow.
Can I get to the yams? Wow. Too bad now.
Oh, God.
You're a
Anyways,
hating ass bitch.
I swear to God, my Apple Wrapped or whatever the fuck was built in the last month. Like these motherfuckers were just going.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like my shit was not. Either I don't listen to music or I've only listened to music for a week. That shit don't make no sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I've listened. I remember when I was listening to this.
Yeah.
It was like for 2 days tops. Oh my God,
Sorry, please.
Oh.
What was on your list?
Okay, that was one of them. The one that just played.
I was about to say, just tell me the.
I'm gonna.
We got it.
That's
Okay, talk about it. What we got on the list?
And I want you guys to take this. I'm gonna run through these because I don't want to like talk about them all day. But it's "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush. If you watch Stranger Things, you know what I'm talking about. This is literally my top fucking song. "Rises to the Moon" is a TikTok song. So yeah.
That's terrible.
"Wuthering Heights" is a Kate Bush song that played right after "Running Up That Hill." So that's why I listened to it. But then I was like, damn, this is
also
a good
on
fucking
Stranger
song.
Things.
It's not on Stranger Things.
But from the other one that's on Stranger Things,
Yes.
brought you to this. Got it.
And it's like a musical type looking song.
Oh, you love a
that's why.
musical.
Tech It was a TikTok song, and that's how I ended up liking it. "Party," Bad Bunny. No explanation.
Body. I should be talking over your
Carolina Carol Bella is a Brazilian song. "Lovely" by Billie Eilish. Good "Free Mind" by Thames.
Yeah, I remember when she was sharing on Billie. You know what? Let's move on.
And if you want to go back to the first episode and find out, yes, I was shitting on Billie Eilish.
But I think we're allowed. People change. It is what it is.
"Lovely" by Billie Eilish, and then "Free Mind" by Thames, and then "Good Looking" by Suki Waterhouse. You want to hear that one?
What's that? Hold on. What's this one? No, I ain't want to hear it. I ain't want to hear that.
Sorry, "For Whom the Bell Tolls," which is a Metallica song.
That's actually insane because I remember when that came up is when I was talking about "Welcome Home" from fucking Coheed and Cambria, and you played that. How many times did you play that weekend?
I played that so much. I just really like.
That's your single thing or your albums?
I'm very partial to like
Is that your singles or your albums?
Singles. No, this is just my replay for 2022.
Where's your albums? I thought they give you your albums too.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. Hold on.
Let's really get into it. Or should I? Yeah, get into your album before I talk about mine.
I'm going to show you mine just because you're in it. I'm going to tell you right now. I've played 1,499 songs, which is accurate because I
That's
have
actually
been
a lot of
listening to
songs.
music.
1,500 songs is a lot of songs.
My top songs are, there are 5 of them.
Okay.
"Running Up That Hill," "A Deal with God" by Kate Bush. "Rises the Moon" by Liana Flores. "Wuthering Heights" by Kate Bush. "Tech It" by Kafune, I think. And "Party" by Bad Bunny.
Party.
And if you want to know the rest of my top 10, it's "Lovely" by Billie Eilish, "Free Mind" by Thames, and "Good Looking" by Suki Waterhouse. And to round the last of it is "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica. Let's fucking get it.
To whom the bell tolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play right now.
No, that's not.
I've listened to 612 artists, which absolutely makes no sense.
That's a lot of artists.
Only a handful made the spotlight.
Bad
Number 1,
Bad
Bad Bunny. Oh, fuck. Then it's number 2 is Summer Walker. Absolutely.
This year, Summer Walker?
I don't know how. Drake.
Jizzy Drake, you already know how that go.
Kate Bush, 367 minutes. It's crazy.
Kate Bush is the
That's
girl
how
from
much I played the 3
the
songs. Yeah, from Stranger Things. And then 5 is Now. I love her.
Meow. I always think her name is like a cat.
And these are my top 10 albums. Bad Bunny, Summer Walker, Drake, Kate Bush, Now, Billie Eilish, Tyler the Creator, Ariana Grande, Lofi, and Brent Faiyaz. Those are my top 10 artists. You played 114 albums, which I
That's
denied.
a lot of albums.
My top albums
You're not
are
going for it?
Un Verano Sin Ti, which is the Bad Bunny album.
Uniano Sinti?
Honestly, Never Mind by Drake.
Stop. Oh,
I
yeah.
played that to the ground.
You know,
Last Day of Summer by Summer Walker, I don't know how.
Mm.
Because that is old as shit. Unfortunately, the Coco soundtrack.
Nah, that's a good soundtrack.
And Die Lit by Playboy Card.
Oh, wait, this year you was listening to Die Lit? That was a good album.
And then my top 10 albums are Bad Bunny,
Bad
Drake,
Bunny.
Summer Walker, the Coco soundtrack, Die Lit, Playboy Cardi, Hades Prayer by Soup, this guy right here, Grease.
From Drake?
Grease.
From Drake.
No.
Oh, Grease, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack. Now, that's crazy that it's after Grease.
OD. And
Wasteland
after me. I'm
by
not OD.
Brent Faiyaz. No, it's before you.
I thought it was after me.
No, it is after you. And Over It by Summer Walker. And I've listened to 12 playlists, all that I've created, I promise.
I'm going to speak by muscle memory about my list.
Go ahead.
I know off rip, my albums and artists, the first two were me. Soup from Wild Me Up, 876. Feel me? 876 flows, shit like that. But I remember Drake was on there for artists. I don't remember the other artists. But the albums I do remember. I remember Drake's, fuck Drake. Westside Gun, Hitler's Hermes 10 was on there, which just came out.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is
I'm
weird.
just like very confused.
Smino's album was on there. Earl's Sweatshirt was on there for fucking his last album, which I know I like some songs on there, but I don't think Earl's Sweatshirt 6 should have been on my.
He dropped anything.
Yes, literally Earl's Sweatshirt was on that bitch, and then there was another artist I was like wowed by for their album. Kendrick Lamar was number one on everything. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Big. Oh my God. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was the top album I listened to other than myself because I support myself and you guys should support me as well. But Kendrick was number one. Her Loss was number 10, I remember. And fill in the blanks yourself. I think rap is like a cool idea. I like that Spotify had like the festival lineup as like who you listen to. I thought that shit was fire on Twitter. But I don't know how accurate it is, you know? I don't know how accurate you are, because I listen to more music than that. Mm-hmm. You guys made it seem like I don't listen to music, and I didn't fuck with that.
I feel that.
You know? But about music, like, what new music have you been listening to? Have you been listening to new music recently?
It's just Laufey. And I made you listen to her the other day.
Yeah.
She's just great. Like, I just feel like I'm in a very calm space in my life, and I'm just more of like a retrospective thing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in a very romantic part of my life.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like romanticizing everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, ew.
You've been burping this all the time. It's not giving romantic.
It's a beer.
It's not giving romantic, though. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh.
But like, I just really like her music because it's just very romantic, and I think it's very thoughtful the way she thinks she sings about things.
Yeah.
And I'm just in a very thoughtful mood. Like I think, you know, when you think about love, you should think of like yourself.
Yeah.
Sitting on a rooftop somewhere, looking at the moon.
Mm.
And you think about the moon, and you're just like, wow, I'm just so small in this situation. I'm so small in this circumference of space.
Mm-hmm.
And how amazing is it to look at this planet outside of where I live and think, wow, this is beautiful.
Wow, things are bigger than me. It almost makes you want to listen to Walking on a Dream by Empire of the Sun. Walking on a dream, looking at myself type shit. Yeah, real shit. That's what it's giving right now.
I think so.
We are always running for the thrill of it.
Sing it.
Thrill of it.
Oh.
And can I get to the yams? Yo, shout out to Fetty Wap for that one.
That's crazy.
And Masego. But Fetty Wap.
Let's talk about how crazy it was that I did not know the difference.
Yo, the fact that you didn't... Yo, you and music have a love-hate relationship, I think. Like, sometimes you're with it, sometimes you're not.
Bro, how the fuck was I supposed to know the difference? I just knew yesterday
It sounds
that it was
different.
something.
You know today, not yesterday. Today.
We're gonna get to the years.
Hey.
Sweet yes.
And
Sure.
before I leave, because Brandon's about to get off of this film.
We're both getting off of it.
TikTok has been driving me fucking nuts, and the song that's been on my mind is Tu Verão, Te Amo, Tu Me Sa-. Yo, literally this Brazilian ass fucking song.
You're so stupid.
I am obsessed. I am fucking obsessed. I remember seeing this video a long time ago of these Brazilian women just doing this, and it was like, they're not doing anything. Like, what the fuck is this? But today, Brandon today is obsessed. Tu Verão, Te Amo is the song of the year for me.
Do the little dance.
Tu Verão, Te Amo. Guess what? I'ma learn that motherfucker. And when you see me on TikTok, show love. Cause I'm finna go crazy. Nigga.
I hope you enjoyed this little podcast because I think it was one of our best. I think
It's a podcast. I'm not gonna say one of our best or our worst. It's just a podcast, and I think you should tap in because we are giving our hard-earned time to entertain y'all. And you know we fucking funny, bitch. Like, are you dumb? Is you dumb, stupido? Go listen to my music, Soup, Apple Music, Spotify. Go listen to me. I'm about to drop. Go look out for her writing. Look out for her story. Look out for her movie. She's about to drop.
It's almost done soon.
And the thing is like, we're just like you guys. We're just like you, you know, but better than you. Tune in. Let's talk about this comedy podcast. Peace, bitch.